Okay, so could you please repeat your question again?
So my question is basically, what do you think about so the video said uh he talked about that people were going to make it to heaven if they go enlist in the army and fight against Ukraine, right? That was basically the gist of it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that happening, them making such a move?
Um, because because it's the truth. The truth is that if whenever somebody um offers their own life for somebody else, then it's a good thing, it's a virtuous thing. Like Christ said, whoever gives his life for someone else has the biggest love, right? Or has the most love.
Yeah,
So it's based on that same principle.
I see.
Um, as Christ gave his own life for us, and that through that love we are saved.
Yeah,
In the same way, if we follow his example and we give our life for someone, we um we save our own souls, and also the grace that comes from it might save somebody else. That makes sense.
mm.
So if you
I
if you
think
give your life in battle for your country, for your church, for your people, then it's you may save your souls, yes.
you know, and I saw that the problem was mostly a political one, right? Again, it was about is it the right move, and he was saying the attack was unprovoked, which is not true because um, Ukraine had been killing the people of what was it? I don't know. It was a city, and they asked Russia to come liberate them, and so Russia invaded. And look what the Ukrainians are doing to the Russian to the Ukrainian Orthodox Church. They've completely removed the old patriarchy, right, and installed a new one, and that's completely under Western rule, which is crazy. So I personally understood why he would say that, even from a political sense, because I saw that the problem, because Yeshua wasn't thinking about it like you were, right, with laying down your life for someone can save your souls. I think he was more political about it, and if it's the right choice, and so.
Yeah. Yes. Um, yeah, the problem that people have with that is that he is basically calling it a holy war, fighting for the right cause, while people don't
Yeah.
see how what uh the see how there's anything holy about this war or any war.
Yeah. I mean, they have a point because, well, then the country, Russia itself, is no better than Ukraine. The government, I mean. So
Mhm.
they're fighting a war against evil countries, so to speak, a government, I guess,
Yeah.
while their government is also evil. And then when you add the church to it, it's like, oh, you're choosing the side of an evil government, fighting another evil government. So are you evil?
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know a lot about how this church relationship should be with a country. I heard Jay Dyer say something about um, the end goal is that the country should make Christian laws.
Yeah. Christian laws.
Mm.
Yes, the ideal situation would be one where the the state um collaborates with the church, that there is um that the church acts as mm, not the rulers of the country, but mm, like advisors, spiritual advisors to the government, the king or the president, um, and and where the state, where the ruler would will actually respect the opinion of the church, this and ideally be a Christian themselves and understand
Mm,
the Christian position on things, on morals, uh on what is right, what is wrong, and base their legislation off of that.
yeah.
A
And the church
country
should keep its
will
independence.
I'm sorry?
I said, and the church should keep its independence and not be compromised.
Yeah, yes.
Mm,
Yeah. Yes, where you the will not have any political influence in the church. Yeah.
yeah,
What I also understand is that I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on the whole Ukraine Russia conflict. I know a few things, but not enough to make, any compelling arguments. I'm
yeah,
not sure if any mistakes have been made by the church in this situation. And it's very much possible that mistakes have been made, that certain things shouldn't have been said, um, and that maybe the church has gone a little bit too far in things. I'm not really sure. I'm not saying that they have, but what I also understand is that history has always been messy, you see. Um, and over the course of history, you have seen this is not the first time that this happened, and you have seen um uh where how the church involvement in history wasn't always mm, uh like uh like a good example, maybe,
yeah.
but let
It's a tricky situation.
something good came out comes out of it.
Mm, it's a very tricky situation.
Yeah,
Hard to balance.
yeah. And whenever we see church hierarchs um make certain mistakes, it's it's very it can often lead to the sheep astray, right? Making people within the church become restless and worry about what is going on with the church, and starting to and controversies and uh disunity among members, and people deciding to leave the church because um bishop so and so said this, or patriarch so and so said that, and this happened, and that's why I'm leaving the church. So I think church members should be vigilant, of course, and be critical, but always be be guided by love, you see, and the, the unity to maintain the unity within the church should be the highest priority, and not we shouldn't be too quick to fall away from the faith or to make um to make groups within the church, factions, you see. Mm. Only because of we don't agree with certain things. As far as possible, keep the peace, you see. That's what St. Paul says.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, today we see that it is dividing the church. The whole Ukraine-Russia conflict is dividing, is causing divisions among church members, which is unfortunate. Um,
Mm.
so what would you say would be the correct the correct attitude that Christians should have in such situations? In a situation like
Well,
this,
well, it
what would
depends
be
if you're from the
the right
country.
thing to do?
Well, the right thing to do, I feel like, from a Russian perspective, if you were Russian, um, I think you should have. I think it's difficult, you know. What is the right thing to do in such a situation? I mean, what can you really do? You know, what are your options? Mm, the right thing to
Well,
do.
the first thing that we should be doing, of course, is to pray.
You know, you know.
Uh,
Because the thing is, it's a collective battle, right? If we all strive to be good and be filled with love, things like this wouldn't be happening, you know? So it starts with the individual, but as a collective, it really works if we all strive for peace and for love.
mhm,
Yeah. And Christ is the only one who can fulfill that.
yeah. Some time ago, when there was a lot of discussion about the role that the church has in this whole Ukraine-Russia conflict, with the blessing of Father Ambrose, I then shared a few notes in the group. Not sure if you were if you saw those. I'm trying to find them back.
I don't think I saw them.
Uh, oh yeah, I found it. Oh no, but this was oh yeah, okay, I found it. So let me read it up. A good the good day after everyone, glory to God, with the blessing of Father Ambrose, I would like to drop a few notes here. In last Tuesday's class, Father Ambrose wishes to address the concerns that were raised about His Holiness Patriarch Kirill and his introduction. In his introduction, Father Ambrose mentioned that there are two types of wars going on. One between nations, such as the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, and the invisible war. I would like to focus briefly on the spiritual invisible war, as I believe this is extremely important and highly relevant when it comes to the concerns raised. We have to realize that Satan and his demons are fighting against the church. One of their long-standing taxes is to try to divide and conquer. They exploit the human weaknesses of our fellow brothers and sisters in Christ, our priests, bishops, and hierarchs, to disrupt peace, create problems within the church, and cause confusion and disunity among members. This is the true cause of schisms, and as it causes some to turn away from the church or abandon the faith altogether, while preventing others from joining. Christ in his teachings put so much emphasis on humility, washing out each other's feet, forgiveness, mutual respect, brotherly love, and unity. It is never about turning a blind eye to the sins of Christians or denying the problems, but both to assessing and addressing these problems, we must always be guided by these principles. The unity of the church should be one of our highest priorities. A kingdom that is divided against itself cannot stand. And then I gave a few verses in this context. John 17, verse 11. I am no longer in the world, but they are in the world. Even as I'm coming to you, Holy Father, watch over them in your name, the name you gave me, that they will be one just as we are one. We must not be prideful or quick to judge our brothers and sisters, instead obsess over our own shortcomings. Do not let the weaknesses of our brother or sister cause you to stumble, leave the church, or lose your salvation. At the same time, be careful not to become a stumbling block yourself. Romans 14, verse 13. So stop judging each other. Instead, this is what you should decide. Never put a stumbling block or obstacle in the way of your brother or sister. Are you your brother's keeper? The answer is yes. Love should always guide us when addressing issues with a brother or sister or any problem within the church. Galatians 6, verse 1, 3. Brothers and sisters, if a person is caught doing something wrong, you who are spiritual should restore someone like this with a spirit of gentleness. Well, watch out for yourselves so you won't be tempted to carry each other's burdens, and so you will fulfill the law of Christ. If anyone thinks they are important when they aren't, they're fooling themselves. Do not let events happening in the world or problems within the church confuse you. Instead, remain calm and pray for these challenges. After all, rumors are not always based on the truth. Do not let the events happening in the world, oh well, the end of everything has come. Therefore, be self-controlled and clear-headed so you can pray. We should avoid confusing too much. We should avoid focusing too much on our own material spiritual needs, on our own opinions, as this can also cause problems and disunity. Philippians 2, verse 3. Complete my joy by thinking the same way, having the same love, being united and agreeing with each other. Don't do anything for selfish purposes, but with humility think of others better than yourselves. May the Lord bless us and bless us together and bind us together with love through the praise of the Theotokos, our holy and godparent fathers who fought for the unity of the church and all the saints. Amen.
Well said. That says it all, right?
Yeah. I'm going to share these notes also in Caribbean. I'm going to try and translate them and then share it in the group.
All right.
Yeah. It's very tempting for us, especially in this day and age where we are constantly being uh bombarded with information, news, and you know, controversies, like for example, the Epstein files that is very hot topic right now, to be carried
Yeah.
away with all this and
Mm,
to be so invested with these things that we forget that it makes us restless and focus on the situations and everything that is going wrong. and forget to pray, actually it disrupts our peace, our inner peace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that's one of the things that made me turn back to Christianity, you know.
Mhm.
I was really into the political things, geopolitics, and what the elites have been up to. So, like, I realized that, oh my God, these people really do worship Satan and are Satan worshippers. And then I realized they know a lot more than we do when it comes to history and all these things, right? That was my thinking at the time. And I thought, and so if they worship Satan, that means there's God, and these people are evil. So I'm gonna go to God. Because everything else in this world is set up by these people, except for the church, except for God. So I was like, that's the only safe haven. It's the only place to go. Everywhere else is corrupt. Mm.
That is what made you realize that you should um start to become serious with God.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because they really are worship Satan worshippers. It's actually crazy how obvious it is. It is.
Yeah.
Mhm. But that's why we shouldn't take politics seriously. Really, it doesn't matter. But that's
Yeah.
what I believe at least. Yeah.
Yes, and also another thing, it's sometimes very difficult to know what truth is, you see.
That's so true. Especially now.
It's so hard, it's so difficult to know actually what is true. Uh
Yeah.
because all we know is what we hear from the media.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the media they can't really be trusted.
Not at all.
Yeah, so you will sometimes find people who take a very hard position in against, for example, they base their political um decision based off of what they hear from the news. You see, you have people who are uh very anti-Trump, for example,
Mm.
and base they will base their position on everything they hear from the media, all the negative news about what Trump is doing. Uh, while is you could ask yourself, but is it all true? What is true about what you hear from the news? Shouldn't Because there are also people that are very positive about what he's doing and shouldn't we be celebrating? Because for one thing, I'm not a big Trump fan, but you can ask yourself, could he maybe be our biggest ally at this point because he is fighting for Christian values. He's very anti-abortion, very anti the LGBT Q um, uh, program. So he's trying to to restore certain things, and his methods may not be the right ones, but it is very much in our favor, I think, right?
Yeah, very little percentage of what he's doing, like 2-3% of what he's doing is beneficial to us. But about the Christian values, I think the only Christian value I see him, um, what do you say? fight for really was the LGBTQ things, but everything else, I think, yeah, not that much. But that's something where I could see there was a lot of change when it comes to that. And people were finally allowed to speak out about that it's kind of crazy, the things that they were doing in America.
Yeah.
So that was good. It was a little bit of release, but it's more so the people he empowers, right? It's like the people, some people are good people who believe in him, but it's just he is corrupt. So, it's they make the good changes, right? He manipulates them because they're good people. So certain things he has to do is, good things so that they like him. But at the end of the day, he's really corrupt. But, all of them are. But it's so true that he is kind of and I hope he starts a trend towards good and more actual Christian, because now we can see a good one, a liar from a real one. We've already gotten a liar, but now we're gonna search for a real one who really fights for us. And the precedent has been set that there's a majority in the world that actually wants Christian values.
Yeah.
Mm,
So what do you know what I think that is going on in the world right now?
tell me.
It's polarization,
Yes.
and it's getting stronger and stronger. It's, I think, the
Mm.
fulfillment of what the Revelation says. The those who are uh unclean should become more unclean. Those who are holy should become more holy. Let me see how it's being said. Oh, okay, I have a Bible right here. And you see that we already saw that in the with the Palestine Israel Palestine conflict, where people were so divided around that issue on that issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was really a matter of truth against lies. You see?
The truth being,
Well, the obvious truth, the truth being that Israel was in that area long before the Palestinians were. You see? Well, you have people twisting the truth and saying no, that is they were never there and they don't have any a right to have to be there. Like that's those obvious things. Like how is that true? Is that a complete dismissal of history of what is actually of the facts? You see, twisting of the facts.
I see where you're coming from, but I actually strongly disagree.
Hmm.
But let me tell you why. Um, I do agree that yes, the Israelis did live back in the day in Palestine, but the obvious truth I feel like is the Israel that is created now is not the same one from back then. It is a puppet state. It's not even. It's a puppet state. It was set up by the British Empire with the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, all them, they actually did establish it. So it wasn't really noble cause, they only did it for political and geopolitical reasons. It was it's a vassal state. And I think um, the whole conflict from the beginning, since it was established, it was wrong. It should have never been established, right? But right now, the current conflicts, okay, it's been decades. It's been going on for decades, and right now, it's this what's happening is only inevitable. And I think it's beautiful what you said back then. It all ties everything together, right? That it doesn't really matter. We need to focus on our own journeys, and we shouldn't really focus on these things because at the end of the day, it's a complete farce, So we should really only focus on our spiritual journey and not get worked up about it. Because why get worked up? You know, every side is a liar. Why get worked up about it? They're
Yeah.
not fighting for you. You, it's why get worked up about it and causing division because of that. Going back to what you said, and it's completely unnecessary and actually damaging.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So all of these things that we see happening, it's really dividing people into two groups, right? It's
Yeah,
polarizing people, and it can either cause you to stumble or or make you become more holy.
yeah,
So either way, if and it's either you're pro if you choose a side or um whatever side it may be, it may cause you to stumble and to become more unclean, or it may cause you to become more clean, to live more holy. And whatever
yeah,
stance you may have. And that is I think what matters the most. What is the most important thing? Are we coming closer to God, or are we drifting away from Him? You have people in this age who are very much smartphone oriented, and they are constantly in the news, updating themselves, trying to stay updated on everything that is happening. And even that may seem like a good thing, and it is good to be aware of what is going on in the world. But there's a temptation there. Temptation is that we pray less. Um, and it is leading to our demise, and we're slowly but very slowly drifting away from God, since we are spending less and less time with God. And you have people that are aware of this, and they choose to um they take they this situation is bringing them closer to God. And that is where we should be. That is where we're supposed to come closer to God and everything, because the times are becoming more and more difficult.
yes.
Um, yeah. So we have less than one minute, then I will stop the recording. Um, thank you for being here. We did only 40 minutes because we already did catechism class also in the morning. So thank you very much for being here, and we will
Yes,
continue next time.
it was a good one. Could you maybe go to Revelations in the Catechism next time,
Oh,
or
yeah, we
end times
could.
more?
Yes.
Because I don't really know the Orthodox perspective on the end times, and what is mentioned in Revelations and so.
Yeah.